Welcome to another episode of the Chrissy Mayer podcast. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And if you're listening to us right now on iTunes, please leave a 5-star review. I will be reading the best reviews every week, so long as they are 5 stars. Just go on and start typing. It could be creepy. It could be complimentary. It could be in a different language. If it's 5 stars, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read the best reviews. And thanks to everybody who has left reviews so far. This podcast is sponsored by Silk City Hot Sauce. I'm so excited to have these guys as a sponsor. They just sent me a huge box of stuff that I got yesterday. And then we had tacos, and they have like a taco salsa that I basically was like throwing back. So just go to silkcityhotsauce.com. If you use the code CMP, you not only will save 15%, but you're also going to get a free bottle of cherry sriracha and a bunch of Silk City stickers, which I got. And I'm just going to put them, I don't know, all over town so people can know. And there's like a bottle of like mango salsa I'm going to just start chugging. Very excited about it. So check them out, Silk City Hot Sauce. Use the code CMP for 15% off. Very excited to have this gal on the podcast today. She is an adult star. I want you guys to check out her website, which is alixlynx.com, ALIXLYNX live.com, and follow her on Instagram and Twitter at the Alix Lynx. Alix Lynx. How are you?
Hello. I'm great. How are you?
I've been good. How have you been doing I want to know like how there's so much to talk about with you, but how have you been finding business life creating during these last few months of sort of lockdown, and to me what feels like could be creatively stifling? Like, how have you adjusted to it?
The good thing about all of this is that I'm super introverted. Like I'm like an introverted extrovert. Like I love people and I'm sociable, but I really cherish my alone time. And like, I just work best when I'm like doing my thing. Like I stay in, I read books, like that's my jam. So like, truth be told, this did not really affect my life very much other than the fact that I can no longer go to set. But then I was just like, okay, like I filmed stuff at my house, like, you know, but I've been filming by myself. I haven't yet filmed with anyone else. That's been a little bit weird because I'm just not used to it. But, you know, other than that, I'm good. And as far as like creativity, it's actually been a blessing because for a while I left LA, and I just left LA again, actually. I'm staying in the country where I'm from. And it's like, to be removed from my environment, it's like immersion into a completely different setting. And I've been so creative, and I just started all this stuff like I've been having on the back burner. Like I started like a blog, and I have a merch store that I'm working on new music. Like I'm just like, wow. I'm in a flow right now. I'm like out of the hustle of the city, and I needed that. So yeah, for me, I've been good. Like I'm chilling, you know, I'm thriving right now.
That's really great. Like it is something really nice. Like the people that have been sort of low key, you know, introverts, like, oh God, I can't see you. Or like people who get excited when plans get canceled. And like all of us have been like really excited right now. Like, oh, I guess I have to just read more and stay in. But I have been getting crazy. Like I will get cabin fever because it's easily now been like just 2 or 3 days or I haven't been outside. Like I have to remind myself like this to breathe outside air.
Yes. Very important.
But you have a very interesting background. You graduated with an MBA in digital marketing, and you have, I think, a BA in communications.
Yeah.
You went to college. Yeah, you have 2 degrees, which is amazing. I have one. I barely use it. I mean, I guess I'm communicating right now. I too have a BA in communication. Exactly. It's never a good sign. Like while you're in school, people are already making fun of you about how useless your degree is going to be. You're like, oh, great. And
really, I never got that. I always thought communications was super good. It was a good, smart move to do because it's so like you can apply it to like everything. I mean, you need to communicate. No,
I got it a lot. I think because I went to Fairfield U, and they had like a really popular business school, a really popular school of nursing, and people were like, what is your trade? What are you learning to do? And I was like, shut up, let me jump in this pond. Let me be in college. So you see the full blast college degrees, and then you went out into the world. You worked for about 4 years in accounting. Correct me if I'm wrong at any point.
No, it was PR, communications. I was a account executive at a public relations firm, so I was like handling clients, and I was doing like social media marketing too.
Okay,
And
so
then also like before that, that was like pre that, I was like waitressing and stuff, like hot jobs, you know.
yeah, like usual. I think I've had like at this point maybe like 15 jobs, like everything from like right out of school or in school lifeguarding, and then I coached diving, which is actually my most favorite job I've ever had. Like hours would go by and I just would like have so much fun because it's like you're
It sounds
basically
fun.
just like throwing kids off the diving board. Yeah, and you're just like helping them build their self-esteem and like teaching them.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like it was very cool. I liked that a lot. And then, randomly I worked for this production studio that worked with Fashion Week. I would be like physically making wires and stuff. So I liked reading about that worked in the corporate world for a few years before going into the adult industry. And I wonder, have a lot of people like giving you shit for that? Have a lot of people tried to shame you and being like, well, why wouldn't you just stick with your good job? Why would you turn to porn?
I
Have you
mean,
gotten a lot?
when it first came out, like when people first found out, there's always that instance when you get into porn, like people find out, you know? So when that first happened, it was like that whole Cosmo article. I was in this article in Cosmo that just blew up and all these news outlets picked it up. So it was like, it was viral. And so obviously that was the day all my family found out, and like just like a bunch of random people, obviously strangers. And I remember reading some comments and they're like, oh, like she's gonna fail, like that's all bullshit, like she'll be back, all this shit. And like I just read them and I didn't give a fuck because like I knew that was untrue. But I kind of got shit for that. And then before I moved out to LA from New York, when I first told some of my friends, they were like, what the fuck? But like also people that knew me knew that like I would do it. So I did have support in that way. But I think, but now fast forward, like that does not happen anymore because I'm successful, you know? So it's like, oh, I guess she was right. Like,
Yeah. Oh, well, now I feel dumb. So it was an article in Cosmo that you feel like tipped everybody off. I was wondering if it was that there was a video you did with another girl. It was like, was it like blowjob tips from a porn
Yes,
star?
well that was the first one. There were two parts of that. So it was how to like give a popsicle a blowjob. It was just like some random YouTube video, but not so random because that also blew up. So there were like millions of hits, and that's how some family found out. But then the rest of the people found out the other way. So,
and I mean, it's
happen.
like, if only they were all popsicles. Are you kidding me? If like dicks taste like popsicles, excuse me, it's like we would have no problems. You know what I mean? No balls, everything, nothing comes out of it. It's like,
so
give me a
good.
popsicle any day. Come on.
I would be so happy.
Like, try a popsicle that's room temperature that smells like balls, and then we're getting closer to it. Did any of your friends or family, like when they first found out, like were most of them like, oh, okay, or they got it, or anybody really surprised by it?
I wouldn't say anyone was surprised. I'm just laughing because I'm like the black sheep of the family, and it's like, I mean, I always had my shit together, but I've always had more of a risky, like wild streak. Like I live life like just enough on the edge, you know? So I don't think people were surprised, but my mom like didn't talk to me for 4 years. So that was
4
bad.
years?
Yeah. And it's not like, we weren't really like ever like super tight to begin with, but still like, it was weird. It was like a weird time. And then like, yeah, like some family members, it was just awkward to explain. And I had told my dad because I felt like that was like the right thing to do. And like, he's like so chill. He's like, well, you know what? I wish you were doing something else, but if you're happy and you love it, like good for you. And I was like, thanks, Dad. So it was kind of like half and half. Like most people were just kind of like, okay, that's weird, but like you do you. So
yeah. Were you closer to your dad before you told him? Like, were you closer to him than your mother?
I don't honestly, like I was never really close to either of them. I was always they always were like fighting and had their own shit going on. So I was always super independent at a really young age, and just did my thing.
Yeah. I can't believe your mom didn't talk to you for 4 years. So when she finally kind of came around, did she say, like, did she apologize, or?
It's just like a thing that like now and plus like I have a younger brother who is very, very, very supportive, but it's like between like him kind of like telling her how my life is and everything, it's like we just kind of put our differences aside and like we're like, okay, we'll just make peace with this existence and it's fine, and now we get along, and like she sees I'm like happy and healthy and I make a fuck ton of like I make really good money and like
I support myself.
So I'm like,
I don't have to eat ramen.
I'm good. Like I get to travel. Like I'm in charge. Like nothing's wrong here. I'm fucking thriving. You know. I hope I can swear.
Yes, swear away. Go nuts.
Okay. I'm like,
it really bothers me when people give adult stars shit and say, "Oh, well, this is not a respectable way to make a living. What are you going to do when you get older? Like that's the shit that I got too." And I'm like, listen, like I thought this well out, and like I trust myself enough to be able to figure that out. Like. Right.
You know, I'm not going to be like, oh, I can't get a desk job now. Like, fuck that.
People do not realize like the amount of shame that's involved in your typical desk job is like there is so much more shame and like loss of respect for yourself. And I know because I've had like 15 different jobs than there is, I imagine, being a porn star, because it's just like, oh my God. It's like, at most of the jobs I've done, you do not need any kind of bachelor's degree. That's for sure. You're being constantly talked down to. It doesn't matter. It's like if you have a male boss or a female boss, but I actually found like my female bosses were way worse and treated me like almost shittier than like my shitty male bosses. That. And cause it's just, I don't know. It just seems like anybody in any kind of like power, it's like they've gotten there by kind of treating everybody pretty shitty, and like so years of being talked down to, and like just so much just busy work that's like insults your intelligence, and
literally fucking spreadsheets. Like I wanted to die. Like I was like, I can't do this. It's mind numbing. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, fuck this. Like why'd I go to school for this? Like whack, you know?
It is. It's like you go to school and your mind is opened and you become curious about the world, hopefully, right? If everything goes well. And then you go into the working world and it's almost like your world is closing in on you all over again. And it's like, here are your 10 job tasks and you're indoors all day. And yeah, you probably don't get to travel. You know, if you don't, these are your coworkers, like find the best 2 or 3, good luck, you know.
Yeah.
You'll probably have like the creepiest dude in the office, like constantly hitting on you. And
yes, like F that. I kind of just reached I mean, I got laid off and that was a blessing because after I got laid off from that PR job, I just knew, I was like, I'm never working for anybody at an office again. Like, so it was a good lesson to learn at a young age. So I'm thankful for that. Yeah. But it's crazy out there. I mean, a lot of my friends, I have a lot of friends that have like normal jobs, you know, and they don't really, nobody seems to like what they do. Even this dude I was talking to on Bumble, like, and like, maybe I shouldn't say him on these apps. I don't give a fuck. But
everyone's on Bumble.
Dude. Yeah, exactly. I don't care. And we were talking about like life, and I was like talking about how I love my job, and he's like, wow, I didn't think anybody liked their job. And like a little piece of me was like, oh my God, my heart is breaking for you. Like, why? Like, I wish people like did what they loved.
For real, you know, Alex. And people spend their entire life doing that. You get into this thing of like, well, I guess it's either like, I'm good at this is all I know, or like, or some combination of like, this makes a lot of money. And then once they get married and have a family, it's like, well, I have to provide for these little fuckers, you know, like I can't, you can't be risky and you can't like take chances with your income. I think a lot of people get like stiff in that way. They just are like, well, I really can't chance it because it's not about just me anymore. It's like, you know, you have that period in your 20s when you can kind of like fail and mess up and try new things. But it almost seems like once people get married and start having kids, it's like, well, whatever you're doing, you got to stick with it because, you know, you got to keep a roof over somebody's head.
So true. That's funny you say that too, because like, you know, I'm like at that age where I'm not like, oh, I have to get married right now. But obviously I'm not thinking the same way I did at 21. It's like, you know, But
What are you, like 30? I mean, you're probably what,
I'm
20,
31.
31? Okay.
Yeah, and again, I'm not in any rush, but I've always thought this, and I'm like, I will never feel fully comfortable settling down with someone or starting anything with anybody unless I'm comfortable in my own life first, because then like I've lived the other way, and it's like then you build resentment towards that other person in the situation. And I just feel like then you also, when you have your shit together, then you bring your best self to the table. And like now at this point in my life, I finally feel like I'm starting to feel like I'm getting to be at that point where I'm just like, okay, like I'm, but it's all, I think that's how it should be, like I feel like so many people have so much potential and they don't,
They don't. And it's like,
settle.
in a way, like my having 15 jobs, like was a good thing, because it's like, I didn't get like locked in. If I just was never fired or laid off, like I could definitely still be at that first job. I mean, my very first job out of college
Yeah.
was I was a tour guide at Radio City Music Hall, because I just had no
Oh,
clue
cool.
what to do. No clue. And my mom was like, I gave tours at my college, and I was like, I can speak for like in front of large groups of people, sure. But then, oh my God, so we get it was so lame. But then they would tell us, oh, Wesley Snipes worked at Radio City Music Hall, he was an usher. Like they would try to make it seem glamorous. Meanwhile, we're wearing like a horrendo 3-piece polyester uniform, like a little vest that like just came up to here, with like a little jacket and stiff like burgundy polyester. Same thing, matching pants. I think I had to wear like a little tie with a little bit of a puffy shirt under it. And this is like day
Oh
in,
my
day out.
God.
Even in the summer, I have to wear this like horrific. And then I had to memorize, again, like nothing could have prepared me for this job. I had to memorize like this thick of a manual, like all about the history of Radio City Music Hall. Interesting for sure, but like I didn't need to go to college to get this job. And no like benefits or anything like that. It's just we really were like carnies, we felt like we were like circus people, because it was like this weird seasonal job, and we would all kind of like hang out together, and it would be a lot of failed like it was in New York City, so a lot of people who had failed at Broadway, a lot of people like gotten kicked off their play or whatever, then they would like come here because they would still be like, I get to be a little bit like
I feel like
performing.
that those kind of jobs though, the most random shit, that's the best, because you're kind of thrown into like everything's gonna be like you don't know what's gonna happen on any given day, because
Yeah.
like that's funny.
It was wild. And
But
I like opened my eyes to so much stuff. Like my coworkers from that job took me to eat sushi for the very first time. So here I was like 21 having sushi for the first time, and I didn't know anything. And so the little like the piece of plastic grass that separates the different rolls. I was
yeah.
like, ooh, and I just started eating it, like I'm chewing it and swallowing it. I'm like, this is sushi is interesting. And they're like, oh God, no. What are you doing? And so first real job was I was like helping to write ads for Broadway shows. And I think the place was called, like, they're out now. They were called like the L. Ron Murphy Group, whatever. I was like, oh, it's in advertising, And so much of my job choices were based on like what my mom would have found exciting, Like I didn't have a lot of good counseling. They're just like, oh, go. And it was me, like, it was like proofreading. It wasn't even anything creative at all. Like I have to proofread the ad for Kinky Boots or whatever it was. And it's just like a super detail oriented job. But if they had never fired me, I probably would still be there, because it's like, you're like, well, I have are you saving for, like, do you guys have like retirement programs, or do you guys do like almost like, not like consulting, like there's this, I can't remember the name, but it's basically like an independent, like 401k, or like, do you guys have like savings plans? In the
Yeah,
adult
I mean,
industry?
I can't really speak for everybody, because it's very much like we don't have a union, we don't have like SAG, like none of that. It's every man for himself, and I say that with love. But every woman for herself. You know what I mean? So it's like I do have those. I have a couple retirement accounts. I have savings accounts. I have accounts that I'm saving for like like down payments on houses.
Wow.
Like I have all that set up, and I did that myself. And then I have like, I'm a business, I operate as a business. So that's how it is. So I was just having this conversation with my business manager today, and I was like, it is so crazy, all the shit. Cause like between now from when I first started, like all the shit that we've had to weed through. Cause I don't know this stuff. Like I just joined, I was like, hey, I'm doing porn, but like, there's no manual. So I had to figure all this shit out. And like, I was like, nobody tells you any of this, you know what I mean? But yeah, and like I always tell girls that too. If people ask me, like I'm like, you know, I like to help people. I don't think really it's good. Like it's not so common knowledge, you know. So a lot of girls don't know. They just don't know what to do.
And that's like pretty scary because it's like, yeah, you're new, you're like 18 or whatever, and you're like excited to be working in it, and you're like, okay, it's all about like the glamour and like, you know, okay, obviously it's really important to like keep fit and you know, kind of being your own entrepreneur, your social media, but like that is kind of scary that nobody sits like these girls down and go like, okay, you should start putting this much away for retirement, you should start putting this much away for like taxes or something like that. Or
there's none of that, and it's crazy. But again, I mean, it is what it is. It's a business, and it's kind of like you just have to sink or swim basically. So yeah, I mean, I'm good.
Yeah, that's good. It's good that you're like taking care of yourself. Do you think most girls are just kind of in the moment, like just thinking about the next 5 years? They're not thinking like, you know, long term when they get in the industry?
Some, I can't, again, they're like, you know, it's an industry as a whole. There's a pool of people that like are definitely like long-term goal oriented, whatever, like they got their shit together. Then there's some in the latter, I think the majority, it's very short-sighted. A lot of people are very short-sighted and like, you know, live your life, do what you want. But like, I think it's really good to be, and it's smart to prepare for the long haul. Cause like, you know, like, well, you can't do this forever. You can't film forever. Like, it's like being a pro athlete forever. It really is. It's just a different form of like sport, really.
Yeah. You could tear your ACL and be out,
I mean,
you know?
Seriously, there's some mad injuries, but like, you can't do it forever. And so you have to have a plan. You have to have a backup plan. You have to, not backup plan, but you have to have I like to have a plan, like what the hell I'm going to do. And then you have to like have savings. And what if like your tire blows off and you have to call like someone to haul your car, like all these unforeseen expenses. And Los Angeles, living there is expensive as fuck anyway. So it's like, yeah, like you have to really just get it together.
Like Alix, if tomorrow for some reason like you couldn't shoot, like what would you do instead? Like how would you?
I mean, that's what I've been in that situation since pretty much March. And fortunately, like I can film at my house, and not only that, but I have a fucking ton. I have like 500 scenes stocked up.
Really?
From filming that I own. So I just continue to recycle those. And I took that long route on purpose. So like I would turn down shoots with companies so I could shoot my own stuff because I always wanted to just own everything. But that said, yeah, I can continue to sell those. And then also like there's so many ways to make money. It's so crazy, you know, like I can create and sell like a digital course. Like I can start partnering, going ham on like, you know, pounding the pavement on partnering with brands to get like sponsorships and doing more like influencer type shit. Like there's just I've always been like such a hustler, and like I always figure out how to make money.
Are you an Aries? When's your birthday?
I'm a Taurus.
A Taurus. Okay.
What are you?
Scorpio.
Oh, okay.
Here's where people tune out. No, I mean, like Tauruses have great work ethics, but you also like that sort of like comforts of home too. But you like to like kind of, you're responsible in that money way for sure. But I have like an Aquarius moon, so I don't know. That's a whole other podcast. Astrology.
Love it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Where was like the most tropical or furthest place that you ever went to shoot?
Oh, to shoot?
Yeah.
Not very far. It's not like the same as it used to be. Like I would say even 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, like they would fly girls to like locations and it was a whole production. But as the years have gone on, it's all like OnlyFans and like independently produced content. So there's a lot less of that. So honestly, like, I don't know, where have I shot? Las Vegas. I've only shot in Las Vegas and California.
Like Syracuse.
And Arizona one time.
Yeah,
that's it. I've shot like stuff in for like just photos in like Malibu but that's
Mhm.
like not that far from me, and I go there all the time anyway. So I don't know.
So when you made the decision, like, okay, I'm going to own my own content, does that mean you have to hire like all the cameramen, or that means you're not going to do it through like a Bang Bros or through a like a Vixen, or wait, I can't think of any of the names, but like,
Right, like a company.
so that means you're responsible for all, like, paying for all the production, like what?
I mean, like a lot of the times I would partner with companies, like independent companies, not like browsers, but like just not like just smaller ones. And we would do like a trade, and that's most of what I did to begin with. Like it was a lot of like trade, which means like you partner with like a production company for that runs like a website, or you figure it out. There's people in the industry that do shit like that. And then like you work with another person and you guys both own the equal rights, and you can do whatever you want with that scene. And that's how it is. So it's like, I don't pay people. Like eventually probably going to get to a point where I'm not filming. I'm only filming once a month and it's something fucking dope, and I probably will pay people for that, but like that's long haul. But now it's just more, it's very like, it's not unprofessional, it's just chill. Like you go to set, you fill out your paperwork, you do the scene, you get the content, that's it. And then like the other half of that is a lot of my stuff is like amateur, which is what the fans love, because it's like they want to know how I am in my real life, in my personal life. And that's, you know, I love it too. It's like really me, you know, and that's what I do more of now. And I just do that with my iPhone. I have a 4K phone. I have a microphone. I have lighting. And like, I just have like, if it's POV, they're holding it. So it's like very easy. And when I first started, I was editing all my own content because I learned how to do that in college. So I was really a one-woman show, and now I still edit my own stuff, but if it's like a long scene that I produce, I have people for that now, so it frees up my time to film more, you know?
Yeah, because editing can take up so much time. What would you use, like a Final Cut or like an iMovie or something? Yeah.
Final Cut Pro.
That's legit. Yeah, you really, that's what people don't understand. But that's also what's really cool about it. You can do everything yourself, so you have more of the power.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of
you definitely have an advantage when you can, if girls, you know, any new people trying to come in, you have a huge advantage if you know how to produce your own stuff, you know, because you don't have to pay anybody.
It's almost like, and everybody involved can kind of use it as like a resume builder. And like with comedy or podcasting, we'll do like swap casts where like, but like each of us would like get the podcast, and then we can post it on our YouTube channels and like try to get our own views from it, which is good. I mean, like I've also done stuff with people like more conspiracy stuff, like with this girl Wristflex, and she has like tons of research and she gets really into the nitty gritty, which like I don't have the attention span for.
I feel
I'm just like, woo, I'd rather
feel that.
like, sorry, my eyebrows took too long, I could not read the article.
Yep. I'm like, there's a person for that, whatever I don't want to do. I'm like, I have a person for that, you know. I just like,
it's good to know how to do everything yourself, but it's also like good to know what to delegate so that you can use like your best, you know, you can focus creatively on making stuff, so you don't get bogged down by. I always thought that like amateur was like just people who didn't know what the hell they were doing, you know? Like,
I mean, sometimes it is like, I guess I shouldn't say, I don't know. When I say amateur, I'm thinking the camera, like the type of camera and the lighting setup. But I guess also it's like, yeah, amateurs also people who just, I mean, they're amateur. They just film what they're doing and that's it.
How did you find, what was your process like of finding out like what style you best liked working in and what your fans best liked from you?
So I find that like what I like best is what my fans like best, because you can just tell like the vibe and like the energy I'm in. I'm just like flowing because I'm really good and like I have my forte, you know. So POV is my forte. I am POV queen, like, and I think that all came from when I first started. I was webcamming. So essentially, like, I don't see anybody. It's just a bunch of names on a screen. So I'm like basically talking to myself for like hours, like 8 hours a day back in the day. And so it's very easy for me to talk to a camera now as if I were talking to like a person. So, and I think it's good too, because it's like, it gives them a very intimate experience with me, because it's like, it's me and then it's them and it's just us. And it's like, I'm talking to them and like, it's very intimate, and I just love it. I love it, and it's easy for me to film. I like easy. I don't like to overcomplicate things, so everyone wins.
And it's not like, it's in a sense like, yeah, you're just talking to you, and it's like, let's say you're with a guy or you're shooting with a guy like you don't have a lot of chemistry with, or he's like kind of a jerk, and then it's like, it's almost like that's the barrier
Happens.
to the fans like seeing parts of you, like if you're spending energy
Yeah.
towards like, oh god, I have to just pretend this guy is someone else, or like
Yeah,
like,
it's
like well, he
it's
has great
happened.
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, focus on your performance. That's all I'm thinking of anyways. I mean, to really, I'm just like, okay, like I want to give the watchers, the viewers, a good show, so, but yeah,
When,
that happens.
when did you find, like, when did your interest in it start? Because I know that you started out even before you finished college, you were doing camming, right?
I just like, I had graduated and I had been like maybe a year out of work, or no, what was I doing? It was like a year after college. That's when I got into camming, a year or 2 years after. But yeah, it was around that era.
What was what site would you use for that?
My free cams, I was on there, and I don't know, it kind of snowballed. Like I had always had an interest in, like, I wanted to do like Playboy initially. When I was growing up, I would watch like MTV, and like Girls Next Door was on, and then I would watch like The Hills, and I was like, I want to move to California and like be in Playboy. And
Oh,
I
it
didn't really
looked so
have any
glamorous,
direction.
right? Especially
I
watching
know,
The
that's what
Hills,
I
I'd be like,
wanted.
oh.
I was like, I don't know. I just want to do that. And then I saw like a documentary on porn, and like, I don't remember. I was like 16 or 15 or something,
Wow.
very young. And then I was like, oh, that's cool. Like maybe I should do that. Like that's how I think. Like I'm just like, no, I'm like, whatever. That sounds cool. I want to do that. Like I didn't like think about it. And then I pushed it in the back of my head. And then like after working for so long, getting laid off, and I was webcamming, and it had almost come back full circle. And then I was loving webcamming, and I was like, oh my God, I should just do porn. Like, why the fuck not? And
Mhm.
so that's when that all started. I was
So you,
like, I can webcam, I can do this.
so you're
Yeah.
15, 16 years old, you're watching like this first documentary on porn. Like, were you watching it going like, oh, like, was it at all a thought like, oh, I'm gonna have to do things I haven't done yet? Or like, were you,
Never like that.
yeah,
It
were
was
you in
never
your,
like that.
you in your personal life, like you were like, had you had already kind of like done most of the things already and you were like, I love this?
No.
Like, yeah, no, you hadn't. You just knew that
You
yeah.
it's funny. I was always like, I've always been so wholesome, and people are like, oh, you're in porn. It's like, motherfucker, like, you don't even know like how wholesome I am. I'm just like very reserved in real life, and very like, that's how I've always been. I like been like a figure skater and gymnast, like, dainty shit. And like,
Yeah, I was a gymnast too. I started way too late. I started in seventh grade, which is like, you might as well start at 30 years old, because seventh grade, it's like you're already, it's like your boobs are already coming. It's too late,
yeah.
you're not going to make it to the Olympics.
So yeah, I was always wholesome. I was always with like one person for a long time, like dating wise. So I was not that crazy. Like I always had just a wild streak about me. And I was just like, oh yeah, I can do that. Like that sounds like fun. I just thought it sounded like unconventional and fun and like cool. Like it was just appealing and it was also because I was always like really rebellious, and I was like, ooh, this is something I'm never supposed to do. But I'm intrigued because like growing up, like you tell me not to do something, even kind of now, I'm like, I want to do it. I want to
Oh,
see
for
what it's about.
sure. Yeah, I was very much like that too. And I was like at least twice at a point where I was like in between jobs, where I was like almost very close to like doing some pretty funky shit on Craigslist, like not even porn, but just like weird private stuff. And like
I feel you
I'd have to
on
like
that.
FaceTime with the guy, and I was like, oh no, you're older than my dad, I can't, bye.
Yeah, I've been there before when I was a teenager too, like 18, like, ooh,
Yeah.
yeah, like just like the calling, people like calling, and I'm just like, oh my God. But then I was like, fuck that.
It's very easy and very tempting, because it's like, oh wow, I can make a couple of grand in such a short amount of time. It's like, you can
Yeah.
see why so many girls like get into it.
Oh,
Um,
for sure. I get it. But I'm glad like I learned that like early on that was not something I wanted to do, because like moving to LA when I was younger at 25, like, I don't know, but I could never now. I'm like, I'm too bossy. I'm too
mhm.
like, I'm like, nah, I got my shit together. Go away.
Were you nervous moving to LA? Did you feel like you had enough money? Like, did you have a place to live right away? Like, were you prepared in that
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, I mean, I moved out there with this guy that I was dating at the time. And we just like did it together. It wasn't that scary. And like I also was moving, like I had been back and forth staying at my agency's condo, and my porn agency. And so like I knew people there already. I knew like it was kind of like a little family. So I was fine, and like I had money. I was like doing shoots and camping and stuff. So I was pretty good. Like we had it like relatively easy. And then like we got our first apartment in Hollywood, which like I quickly moved out there a year later.
Classic Hollywood apartment.
Yeah,
It wasn't exciting. It wasn't like you're just living under the sign. That's what I'm envisioning.
I hated it. It was too much. Like I'm a country girl, and it was just too crazy. And I don't know. I like to be out of the city, but near the city, you know?
Yeah, I'm the same way. Okay, cool. So you're single right now, not dating anybody. But you have a bunch of male friends, which is always good in case, you need a shelf put up or something. Yes. Have you ever like had an instance, I don't know, where you needed them to like, I don't know, like help get you somewhere, or, actually like come over and fix something, to do like almost like man stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. One of my friends was actually visiting like a few weeks ago. He had been quarantined like very carefully. So then he came to stay with me, and like I had my tooth started throbbing. I had to have an emergency root canal, and thank God he was there, and he was so good. And like, he brought me to like my doctor's appointments, cause like I was like in such pain. I couldn't drive. And I was like, thanks. Like, that was really nice. So yeah. And then like, I've had people come over and like build shit for me, and like, yeah, it's real nice.
That is nice. Did you have any male friends who like, once they found out what you do, kind of maybe like made moves or like made assumptions about you, or like tried to, shoot their shot after they found out what you do?
Yeah, I mean, it was more like the vibe of like, I've been in LA, and then like when people found out I did porn, and I still get this to this day, it's like random ass people that I went to high school with, and like middle school and fucking elementary school, and even like college will like come out the woodworks and like DM me on Instagram like, hey, how you been? I'm like, bro, like I haven't spoken to you in maybe 10 years. I know why you're messaging me. Please go away. So I don't even respond. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. But no, I mean, like being in LA and everything, like all my friends already knew what I do. Like people just know. It's kind of like like LA's a big city, but you find your crew. And also it's like, there's a lot of other women in adult film that like, they mingle with my crew outside of adult film. So it's like, the crowd has like a perception, like a good one, as far as like porn stars. It's like, oh, they're actually normal, like chill people that like, they're just actors.
Yeah, of course. And I can't understand why people would think anything other than that. It's just like, oh, just like doctors are regular people, just like the electrician is,
Imagine.
I think because it's like they glamorize you or put you up, on a pedestal, or just like, oh, well, I jerk off to her. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I can't also.
It is a very strange existence, because it's like, I know when I meet people, it's like, I know you've like jerked off to me, and it's cool. It's like, okay, I mean, it's cool. It's like, I don't give a fuck. I think it's dope, but it's just like, it's just an interesting like moment in your mind to have, be like, oh yeah, you're a fan. That means you like regularly jerk off to me. Cool.
It's like, I've seen your work.
Yeah.
Are your DMs and messages like always full of dudes trying?
They're terrible. They're a terrible place. I like, people will text me and they'll be like, oh, I tried to DM you. I'm like, please don't DM me. Like, I don't check my DMs. It's a shit show. Like, I have like I can't do it. Like, I just don't do it. If you want to get a hold of me, you're smart enough to figure it out. Get a hold of me some other way. And it's like, cool, I can just filter people by how smart they are. If they figure out how to get a hold of me, not in the DM, I'll give you some time. Like,
That's a good way to do it.
I like it that way. And also, I don't like to be directly like connected to all that stuff. I like to have like my manager, like, he helps with my stuff. And it's like, because otherwise I get too like attached to my phone and I don't live my life.
That is like, seriously, that's amazing. Like, I would love to hear tips on how to do that, because I'm just like, especially since the quarantine stuff, like I would get these notifications of like screen time. It's like, please don't tell me how many hours I've been on my phone today. I'm like, just tell me how many hours I haven't been on my phone, because it's just, everything is just so much more since the like lockdown stuff. And also it's such a big part of, you know, my job too, is like,
right,
everything is
I
posting and looking, and then I have to watch a couple cat videos just to sort of like reset, you know. Have you ever gotten any have you ever, like, I don't know if this is before management, or like, have you ever gotten any offers or like shoots, or like opportunities where it ended up like the person was sketchy, or it was like not a real thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, I never like went through with them. I guess I don't know when I got my manager. I think I've had him since I like maybe the first 2 weeks I've been in. So I really haven't gone that long without having someone. Like having him there, like I always, like every time I got anything like that threw me off, I would always send it to him, or regardless, I would always send shit to him just to make sure. It was like having a protector like watch over me. And also I'm like not an idiot. So it's like if someone's DMing me on Instagram and be like, hey, I'm a POV director, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna Google this motherfucker. No, you're not. Like, go away, you know? So like,
no, you're not. You're a father of 4.
I'm like, I always just like have my guard up, and I'm very like aware of everything. And like, I'm super cautious, you know, and also it's like, just, you know, given the nature of my job, I've had people hit me up, be like, hey, like, let's collab on a POV video. I'm like, bro, you think I'm an idiot? Like, you just want to fuck me? Go away. That's what I say.
Wow.
Like, go away.
Like, what a creative way to, like,
get it, but like,
yeah. You're like, you're just looking for a blowjob. Great.
I know. It's like, okay, well, let's go somewhere else and ask. Like,
yeah,
not me. It's not going to be from me.
Do you find that your management helped to shape your style at all, or would they give you like suggestions or like help you with your brand at all?
I mean, it is mostly me, like it's coming from me, but yes, like I have like the ideas, and then I'll like bounce. We really work well together. It's like we bounce ideas back and forth, and then we reach happy mediums, or we'll go with like what I want to do exactly, or like we'll take their idea and add some of my personal elements to it and tinker with it. So yeah, it's always, every new thing is always like a collaborative. It's always very much a collaborative effort. I'm really grateful for them.
Yeah, that's great that it, like, that helps, like if they really know you and your personality, and you guys can work together much better.
Exactly.
So you don't post any nudes on Twitter, which is very different, which is, usually Twitter is like, you can see a ton of porn just by scrolling through. Like, I'll see like 4 penises before I've had coffee, and I'll be like, hello, Monday. Good morning. And that's interesting. Not a lot of girls in the industry are like that I've seen. Why did you think that was like a good fit for you?
Because ever since I got in, I was always adamant on being like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. And also always intentionally being like, I want to be known for other things. Like, I'm having fun at this point in my life right now, but I want to do other things. So I felt that would make for a smoother crossover. Like, for example, like, I do other shit. And my thing was, I always wanted to be more of like a lifestyle not personality and just be myself, but like lifestyle-esque person on social media. And I happen to do porn. That's always been my vibe. So I just kind of carved that area out for myself. And like, also, I don't know. I think leaving something to the imagination. It's kind of like, I like to be like, I like to have fun and make mischief. So it's like, well, if I do porn, like, enough to like go like on my OnlyFans, and then you can access my stuff. You know what I mean? So it's almost like you just have to know what I'm about. Like, if you come across my Instagram and you can't tell I do porn, it's like you click on the link in my bio and it's like, surprise. So I just like to plant seeds everywhere, And then also it's like, I always wanted to be more known for like my personality and like what else I can offer. So it was like a challenge for me, and I really took the hardest way possible, but like, it's been well worth it.
And you have over 1 million followers on Instagram. When did you know, like, did that all come right away, or when did you see like the most growth? on your social media?
It's definitely been a build over since 2014, but it's funny. I think about this sometimes, and it's like the more I evolved into who I am at core, like the outside matches the inside, and like I'm fully aligned. I know you understand this. I'm fully aligned with like my best
all of the
self.
things. Yep.
Yes. And since I've arrived at that place, which was maybe 2 years ago, that's when things really started. Cause it's like that's when I really became super confident in who I am. I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I know what I tolerate, what I don't. There's just a level of awareness that is at a point where it's never been before. And the more aware I've become, the more it's almost like I'm called to, like, when I feel called to share anything on social media, whether it's like a hot tip, whether it's like wisdom, what the fuck ever, I'll get on and say it. And bringing that authenticness, like that raw authenticness, I think it's been like a magnetic pull for people. And I've also just been caring a lot more about like the content I post, like how it looks. Like I love aesthetics. So I've just really been zoning in on who I am. That's what it boils down to. That's my baby.
Oh my
yes.
Oh my
I
God,
love her so
cutie.
much.
Scout. Oh my God. She's got her own account. Please, everyone needs to follow Scout the Queen. If you don't follow Alex, at least follow this dog. Oh my God. She's got these like, almost like very blue eyes. They're like almost white. Oh my God. She's so cute.
Ghost eyes.
Ghost eyes.
Like, I keep saying, I'm like, I want to like make her Instagram look nice, but then I'm like, nah, I like the rawness of it. Like it's just random shit that I catch her moment
she's
to
a
moment.
dog. Just let her.
Yeah.
So you said like 2 years ago, you felt like very aligned and like, you know, fully at your full vibrational power, not to get so hippie on everybody.
Exactly.
Was it anything in particular that clicked for you, or you think just, you know, getting older and wiser, or all of it?
It was like a mishmash of that stuff. It was like, I don't know. The time has passed. I just don't give a fuck about much anymore. Like, I don't care what people think about me. I don't care. And it was a weird time for me for a bit too, because like I make electronic music. We have a duo, Fancy Monsters, with my brother. So I've always been very cognizant of the fact that I am also in the public eye with a family member who I'm very protective of. And it was kind of me tiptoeing, and also like it was just me kind of entering a new world, the music world, and like getting to know people in that world, and like kind of feeling into like how I wanted to be in that world. So it was like a mind fuck for me for a while, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to be too public with porn because I'm doing this. And then it was a lot of flip-flopping, but like after like a year, I finally got to a really good place where I'm like, everything's good. Like I'm flowing, that's flowing. Like nobody cares. Like I don't fucking care. Like I think people just respond to how you are. So it's like, I do porn, not a big deal. Nobody else thinks it's a big deal because everyone watches it at the end.
Like if you're confident and you don't have an internal conflict with what you're doing, then like people won't see you that way. Because you looking at your pictures, like you look very Eastern European, and then like hearing how you do electronic music with your brother, I just immediately thought of Eurovision. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh my God, you have to see it. It's with like Will Ferrell, and it's like I forget who he's with, but they basically they play these two musicians from Iceland. Yeah,
that's on Netflix. Okay,
they play these two musicians from Iceland. It's Eurovision. Yeah, I said that. And so they enter this contest and they end up winning on like getting. I'm not gonna ruin it, but they get in. The music is so good. They use like beautiful like local music from like whatever country that talent is representing, and so I feel like you could
check it out.
You would fit in with them.
About.
Now that I've ruined it. No, they didn't. I'm going to stop talking about it so I don't ruin it. That's really awesome. So other than making music with your brother, what are some of your other projects?
I have a blog, which I've been talking about this for months, but like, I don't want to put it out public until it's like how I want it to be precisely. So I'm making the fine tuning that, and that will be out like soon, hopefully by the end of the summer. And I have like maybe like 45 posts, and it's just like random shit from my brain. And I love writing so much. It's so therapeutic. So like, I'm super stoked to get that out. And then with that, I also have a merch store that I'm working on too. Again, one of those things that like, I've been working hard on it for a few months now, for maybe longer, 5 months, 6 months, because I want it to be what I want it to be before I launch it, you know? So those are two things. And then I'm also been really focusing on more like, just more like talking to my fans, especially on Facebook. I do stuff like Facebook Live. So I'll talk about like lifestyle stuff, like random tips and tricks that help me that I'm like, oh, I got to share this. So it's like what to do if you're having a panic attack, like shit like that. And
what should you do if you're having a panic attack? I'm like, what do I know? Just for my solution for everything is like, just get a cold washcloth and put it on the back of your neck. That's like mine for everything.
I mean, yeah, that would work. It's just that that's more like a distraction technique for sure. Cause it's like when you have a panic attack, you're just getting in your own head. So it's like, what I do is it's a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you find 5 things you can see, 5 things you can smell, hear, touch, and taste, and you go down 4, 3, 2, 1. And that just gets you out of your head. And like,
it forces you into your body because it forces you into your senses.
Yes. So that always helps me.
That's really good. I'm going to do that later on because I'll probably have a panic attack about doing podcasts. So. Who have you loved shooting with the most? Like top couple of favorite people?
Man, that's tough. Everyone's so dope. Who do I have really good chemistry with? I work really well. Me and Nicole Aniston have a lot of scenes. We have a lot of scenes together, actually. I know, I love her. She's just like, she's on that like spiritual, like, you know, I like her a lot. She's dope. And we just have fun, you know. I'm always all about fun on set. Who else has been fun to work with? Abigail Mack is a good one too, because she's got like such a dope personality. She's so like, you know, she's just like here for it and ready to work and like ready to have a good time, you know. So people like that. I got a list of people I want to film with too. So
who's like top 3 people you'd love to film with?
I want to film
just
with.
Off the top of your head. They don't have to be
I have
ranked.
a list and I'm like, I don't know who I want to film with. I definitely want to work with Alina Lopez. She's a spicy. I like stalk these people online. I'm like, I want to work with you. I love to work with Riley Reid. I think we would have
she's so cute.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like we would really give the
and
internet
she's
a great
like
scene. I feel like it'd be a lot of fun.
I feel like she's just like effortlessly like fun and like mischievous. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that's the move. And then I'm like, Riley Steele, I really want to work with her too. And we were actually like, before all of this shit, like it's a thing that will happen. So yeah, I got my work cut out.
How does that work out? Like, do you just get into their like DMs? Are you kind of like friendly with them? You're like, I don't check my DMs. Meanwhile, like Riley reads in your DMs. Like
that's literally how we do it. I mean, that's how I do it. It's super like, yo, what do you do? It's like, think of it this way. If it's your job, like it's very nonchalant. I mean, I get from the outside looking in for some people, but like, it's like, hey, you want to like do this scene? He's like, hey, you want to bang on Thursday at 2 p.m.? Okay, cool. You're ready. You're good. Okay, cool. Let's confirm. And then we meet up when we do it. Like it's
prompt.
just like chill as fuck. And it's like it's like you're texting your friend, like, hey, you want to work together? You want to do this project at this time on this day? And then you do it. And then that's it. So it's like,
it's got to be so flattering too, I imagine, to like, I'm sure, because there's people who reach out to you, you're like, oh, they want to work with me, you know? Like, I'm sure it feels really good.
Yeah, I've had some times where that's happened and I'm like, oh, I forgot you were like, I stay in my bubble and I'm like, oh, I forgot, like you're still filming and that's dope. Like I've actually wanted to film with you. So yeah, but I slide in people's DMs too. Like I don't care. I'm like, if I like want to do something, I'll like do it, you know? So
does it ever happen to you where you're like about to shoot with somebody and you get like actually like anxious, nervous, or you're like intimidated by them? Like what are some things that you do or that like before you work with somebody that help you either? I don't know if it's like breaking the ice or just like, have you ever been nervous or like, you know, like, oh God, I don't know if I'm going to be.
When I was first starting, I was nervous. Yeah, I would just get like cause I was brand new for like maybe like 2 years, I would get like that. And then, I mean, now like I do not get nervous whatsoever. Like, I don't care who it's for. Like, I don't really get nervous. Like, because I know I'm very in tune with myself, and it's like I don't allow myself to get that way. So it's like I know in order to give my best performance, I'm going to be present and I'm going to focus on what's at hand, and I'm not going to think. And I can do that to myself, but it took a while to perfect that, because it's just a practice, you know?
Yeah. So your creativity is a big part of your brand, and like you love shooting POV stuff. Is there anything that you like will never do, or stuff that you just like would prefer not to do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really into like, I'm never gonna do a gangbang. Let's be real. I'm just not, that's not me. I just don't want to do that shit. Like, I don't know. I'd like to do things a certain way. And especially now, like I'm really just not, I'm not filming for studios for a very long time. I don't know, honestly, if ever, I don't know when, I don't know if, or I don't know when. So I'm just doing my own stuff. So I like things to be a very certain way. I don't want to film like trashy shit. Like I don't want to film like I'm just really over the stepmom scenarios, because like
there's a
I'm
lot
like,
of that.
okay,
Yeah.
I want to do something more, you know? So, but it's kind of like a balance, because I know my fans like that. And also it's like people, that's where the views are now. So if people want taboo porn, I will give them taboo porn, but I like to do other shit too. But there's stuff like, you know, like I said, like gangbangs or like anal. I'm like okay with never like not doing that on camera. Like I it's not really like a thing. I feel like you really gotta love it. And if I don't love it, I don't want to fucking put a smile on my face. I'm not that person. I'm like, I don't want to do this. So
You might as well just go back to the day job, you know? Like that's how it feels. That's how it feels every day. You're just like, just smiling through the anal. Post it on my desk that says that. Yeah, that makes sense. Like no gangbangs. I just feel like there's high possible chance of like injury, or I don't know. I've heard stories
it's too much for
people
me.
have like torn buttholes and then have to go back out the next day.
That's exactly what it is. And I'm not that person. I'm like, I like to be comfortable. I'll give a good performance, but I will not like subject myself to like, and again, some people are really into that and that's dope. I'm just not that person. So it's like, it's like I have to be very aware and cognizant of like never put myself in situations I'm not comfortable in, because that will wear away at me and I won't know it. And that happens to some people who dive into things too quickly, I find, in the industry. So yeah, I've always just been really like adamant. And maybe some people think I'm a pain in the ass, but oh well, like I just don't do certain things, and that's that.
And when you're clear about that, it makes you, less of somebody that others think, okay, I can take advantage of this person. I can push their limits, push their boundaries.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I like don't fuck around on set. I'm like that, like I have fun, but like I also have this vibe of like, don't fuck with me, because like people never know.
Have you ever had an instance, because I've heard this, like the more like porn girls I interview, like whereas if you aren't firm on your boundaries, like guys they'll just like kind of like, oh, like can I just like fuck you in between scenes, or can you just like roll me for I don't know 20 minutes,
Yeah, that happens. It happens. It's happened to me, but like yeah, listen, sometimes like every so often, like I'm down. Most of the time I'm not, like I'm just like, usually I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm here for work. Like I'm not here to like be your like date for the day, like figure that out on your own. But like I think when I first started I was more like that, but I'm not anymore. But yeah, that was a thing and it's still a thing. But like again, like for me, like I'm just like, I just lay my boundaries down, you know what I mean? And that's that. And it's like, if you're a male actor, it's your job. Figure out how to get your dick hard. You don't need me, you don't need me till the camera's on.
It's got to be hard. Like I got to hand it to them, because I don't know, they have to. I just feel like there's so much, there's like 20 people looking at you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It must be hard to be like a male porn star, but
it is. That's why there's not that many compared to the women, and there's not that many that stay a long time, because it's tough. It's definitely tough because of what you just said.
I've heard that there's like maybe like 15 to 20 just like working. Is it number that low in terms of like men that are like regularly working, like
might be a bit high. I don't that sounds about right. Might be a little bit higher. It sounds about right. Maybe 30.
Yeah.
There's not, compared to the women, there's really not that many.
Yeah. And then how many women do you think there are? Just like countless.
A ton. Just tons. Yeah. I mean, there's like, there's the ones that are in LA and that are really in the main circle because it's like, that's where most of the shoots happen. But I think that's kind of changing too, because, you don't need to be anywhere to, like, we're not in that time anymore. So things are for sure changing, but it's still mostly shot in LA. But, then there's people in Florida, there's people in Vegas, there's people that are just amateur all over the world, especially with like Pornhub, like, so you can really be anywhere.
And your feelings towards like not wanting to work with a studio anytime soon, is that because you just have more autonomy doing it all yourself? Or is there anything in particular that kind of like made you want to move away from studios? Like anything that made you like mistrust them or?
No, it was more so just kind of like, I see this whole operation, it's a business. So like for me to go to set for 8 hours a day and make a flat rate, which I do not get royalties for, compared to I'm going to spend the entire day making my own content that I'll launch and then I'll release it, re-release it, repurpose it, like post it everywhere. Like long haul, I can't, like, I put myself first. And also it's because I like to be in control. I like to be home and be comfortable and film with who I want to film with in my house. Like, and I make more money. So there's no appeal for me to go to a studio, to be honest, unless now I'm at the point where it's like, I will go to a studio if it's for a company that I like, and we're doing a cool scene that I like. Otherwise, I don't care. I just don't. Like, I love working with companies, but it's just, it doesn't make sense as a business it doesn't make sense anymore. You know what I mean? So I have to like think about that logically.
So let's say if next week you were going to shoot with Alina Lopez, Riley Reid, and or Riley Steele, what would you like to do with them? Is it all different? Is it like different for each girl?
Well, if we're going to do this, I'll just put all three. I'll put all of us together and make that really efficient. I'm all about efficiency. That's how I fucking roll. And then I'm envisioning like some kind of like inflatable pool, like kiddie pool with like, I don't know, something weird, like oil, not that weird, like oil, or like something cool, maybe like, I think oil in the kiddie pool would be cool.
It's a lot of oil.
That's it. That's it. Easy. That's it. But I feel like that'd be so hot. That'd be such a good scene. So that's the move.
Sure. Are there ever, is it mostly planned, or are there ever instances where you're like, come over, we'll figure it out, and it's more improvised?
Yeah, it's like I don't know, like 40% of the time it's planned, 60% of the time it's come over and we'll just make it up. If you've been doing this for long enough, like you can come up with a scenario in about 10 seconds. Like my stepmom got me stuck in the dryer and then I ripped my yoga pants. So now we're fucking, like, that scenario. So it's like, it's so easy to come up with stuff, you know?
Did you say stuck in the dryer?
Okay, so if you go on Pornhub, because I literally go on Pornhub to like research what are people watching, what's popular, so then I can know what to make. And one of the more popular ones, and I've seen this before too, it's like stuck in the dryer or hot milk stuck in the dryer. I'm like, okay,
literally cool. Stuck in the dryer.
I'm like, first of all, how is that even physically possible? Second of all,
funny.
Who the fuck? The millions of people are watching it because it's on the front page. So like, okay. I'm
imagining like what I would do in college, which I would get in the dryer for fun because I wasn't hooking up with anybody, and then just like have my friend shut the door and I'd be like, yay, this is our spring break. It would not be like sexy or cool, like, backing out of it. I would just be like, yay.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
I found your missing socks. Here they all are.
But that's what I love about porn too, because it makes no fucking sense, and that's why I love it, because I can do whatever the fuck I want and it's fine. Like the other day I posted a photo with like a mismatched like headset and like gaming device, which obviously would never work together, and people were like chewing me up for it. I'm like, motherfuckers, you're missing the point. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, that's why, like, I love doing porn for that reason.
You're like, I am not a gaming nerd. No judgies.
I'm a nerd, but I just can't game. I have like other shit I want to do, like make money,
Yeah. I'm looking for this photo. This was on Instagram with your,
You see it? Yeah.
Yeah.
People were just like tearing me apart. I'm like, listen, motherfuckers, dude, calm down. It's the internet. Like,
is this a Sega Genesis controller with a headset? It looks good. It looks like you're about to land a plane. I don't know. I think it's cute.
I don't even know what's going on. I was on a set that day and they gave it to me. I'm like, okay. They're like, you're a gamer today.
Do you have like a huge prop closet, like costume closet? Like, do you have like a ton of wigs? Like, do you have like just a huge amount of stuff? That's so fun. That sounds great.
I do. It is fun. It's like every day I wake up and I'm like, what do I want to do today? And it just kind of comes to me. But yeah, I have a lot. It's kind of like, I need a bigger space. Like, I feel like I need a massive house with like a full bedroom dedicated to my wardrobe. So, but that's not such a bad problem to have.
It's like, even you could do a scene behind you, be like, no, not the china. Like,
I know.
Mom's. Oh, that's funny.
Stuck on the china cabinet.
Yeah, I'm stuck if you like stuck in the dryer, you're gonna like stuck in the china cabinet.
10 million views on Pornhub.
You're like, what? You're like, the stepmom stuff is not enough. You got to be stuck in something now. This is great. I'm a big fan, Alix. As we close out, where can people find you? People who are new to you, where should they go? Should they be on your OnlyFans? Where should people check you out?
For sure. So yeah, my OnlyFans, it's where it's at. That's where you can unlock all of my exclusive content from my phone, all my private reserve stash that nobody else gets to see. That's all on my OnlyFans. And I send out new stuff there every single day. I drop like 4 scenes a week. Like, it's popping. So that's alixlynxlive.com is where you can find me. And then my Instagram at the Alix Lynx, and Twitter is at the Alix Lynx. And I'm on facebook.com/AlixLynx as well. So I'm all over the place.
I love it. Alix, thank you so much for coming on. And hopefully, God, I mean, the next AVN is going to be digital, but hopefully the next one that's in person, you know, I'll be at, or whatever the next, like, I know Exotic, they're all kind of canceled, or they're all like online right now, which is sad. But
I know. When it's safe to come out again, maybe we'll cross paths.
I'll see you at the next thing. Thanks, Alix.
Thanks. Have
Bye.
a good one.
You too.